Hello, everyone, and welcome to another stream. So, long time no see. I've been away for a while, some holidays for Thanksgiving, visiting some friends. I've been sick for a while, so unfortunately, not a lot of updates. Work was a little bit crazy with the holidays and all that. But I do have a little bit of stuff that I managed to get done in between all of that, and just wanted to share with you guys real quick. Some of it is kind of around the entry sequence to the game. You know, kind of the flight sequence, and a little bit of work that I've done around vehicles and kind of maybe show you what I'm trying to do to kind of unify the vehicles under one um, parent class. So let's start. Oh, and another thing to mention, another so what I've been uh, something that I might have shown you a while back is in the main level blueprint. The way I was trying to do it, and this is pre 5.4. Unfortunately, with 5.4, I'm not entirely sure why it doesn't work anymore. But the way I was, if you remember from some streams ago, um, I was um, um, I was I was showing this loading screen, and ever since what it seems 5.4, this hasn't been working anymore. So let me see. I'm not entirely sure why this one is stuttering so much at the moment. Let me see why that might be. Um, that's kind of interesting. I've never seen this stutter like this. It is unreal. So sometimes, um, there we go. Maybe because it was docked. That's kind of weird. Anyways, hey Gatish, welcome, welcome. How are you? So what I was doing is I was tapping into the world partition subsystem and checking to see if things were already loaded in. And what I was doing, I was creating this load screen widget, which had like just like a flashing little loading image in there, and it was um, while everything was kind of loading in the background, it was showing that image, and once everything was loaded, remove the widget and it initialize the player. Well, so that part doesn't seem to work anymore. I'm not sure if, as usual, they introduce some kind of different behavior or some other things. So what I've been trying to use is, um, and it actually kind of works pretty good, is this plugin, which I believe is free. And I might have mentioned this before. It's called the um, async loading screen. So this one has a ton of functionality. Whenever you set it up, you can go in here and under, I believe it might be project settings. You have the async loading screen. So you'd have like a startup loading screen, which I put in like a little logo that fades away for a movie path. And I'll show you how this works. Let's see. You can set up a bunch of text and fonts. And while this works, it doesn't fully work for me. So that's why I wasn't gonna do too much of a presentation on it, but just to show you um, what I'm doing for it. So now let's actually jump into game mode, and along with that, I'll show you kind of um, the the flight sequence, the start of the game, basically. So let me make sure that I am hopefully loading in properly. Bear with me for just 1 second here. All right. So the async loading screen that I was talking about only seems to work if it's like it's a build project or um, or standalone game. That's the only time that it that it runs. Um, so is the async on the lower layer loading that buggy? What do you mean, Atlam, about the um, or is it buggy as in bugged? Yeah, so let's go ahead and I'll start this as a standalone game, and I'll show you what it does in the beginning. So this shows up. That was the little intro video, and what I'm doing is I actually try to make that show multiple times, or at least in a loop until everything loads, because the loading screen I wasn't able to get it to work, and there is very little sorry, Adam, thank you so much. You are having trouble using the subsystem for data layer. Yeah, so that's exactly it. That system, the world partition subsystem, I wasn't able to get it to run with any option. The data layers, kind of loading distance, like loading range. So I'm kind of at a loss. Gonna wait till to upgrade to 5.5, hopefully here soon enough, because besides one plugin, I got everything else loading, I mean working in 5. All the other plugins are good for have been migrated to 5.5. Okay, so kind of that's what I was trying to load to show you with the async loading screen. Unfortunately, I'm not entirely sure why this one doesn't start. It literally worked this morning, so go figure. When I'm trying to to show something, it doesn't work. So I'm gonna try and see if I can close out of this. Oh, there you go. It finally loaded. Not sure why it took so long, but so yeah, once you start the campaign, oops, that was not what I was intending. Um, that was like the flight sequence, and for whatever reason, it is not in the right position. So let's try and like play it in here in the editor. We'll see if we get into the same mess. Because like I said, I try to do a um, kind of unify my vehicles under one class. So refactor everything that I had, and I'll show you that as well to anybody that's interested. And so now I can like jump out of uh, the SUV, get into, oh my God, there's like a lot of stuff that are not working properly. I'm not entirely sure why, especially when I start in the game. Um, so I was hoping to show you like the flight path for this guy, um, and how you jump out of the airplane. But there's something that is kind of, tripping me off right now. But since we're here, let's look at the um, at how I'm managing these vehicles. So even this one, which is not going to be like a interactable vehicle and such, like you can drive it and all. Um, so I've created this class called a vehicle master, and this expands off of the wheel vehicle pawn. And in each one of these, what you're going to need to have, is kind of like the mesh of the vehicle. Um, you're going to need to have a camera, so you can see from inside the vehicle or outside the vehicle, maybe a sound and placement for your hands, basically, kind of your hands being placed on the steering wheel. And what I've implemented in here is my camera look. So you can control the camera inside of the vehicle and then control the vehicle when you drive it, like forwards, backwards, right, left. This is depending on however you set up your controls. Um, so now the down plane, what happens is I have a different camera input just to like uh, to override that what the parent class has. There's some flights effects, moving along the spline, exiting the plane, following the spline path. So there is no control of this vehicle in that regards, and then this is where, you attach the player. And I think that's where I have like a little bit of an issue. It's attaching the player at the wrong rotation. So I'll fix that up. But if we were to go into the game itself, like without this dev mode on, actually with the dev mode on, this was actually how you would how it would be in the game itself. But if you were to start the game, and we'll quickly go for a little bit of a drive, and I'll show you how it is when you are inside of an actual vehicle, not that you can control, not the plane, which is just a one-time thing that it flies on a spline, and you just choose to jump out of wherever you want to jump out of. But if you were to get inside of a vehicle, let's minimize a couple of things out here. So this is, and you can see right now, like the camera is not placed in the right spot because you can see the guy or your player. Also on this vehicle, I didn't work out the hands just yet, but I'll show you how they work with the forklift. I might have shown you this a while back, but now this is all kind of under one umbrella, so I can easily extend and create a new vehicle really easy. All right, so you might have seen this before, where you can like switch between these, and you can like drive around. So the vehicle will be, interestingly enough, I was able to pass through through the fence. That's an interesting bug. I actually haven't tried that yet to see if it actually happens. So like I said, the vehicle will be available, uh, but you won't be able to get too close to certain locations. Um, so that's kind of how, and once you're here, you can just get out of the vehicle and resume resume your travels, right? And this particular one also has, I might have shown you this before, that you can like have a trunk. There's going to be like some little side mission that you'll be able to use that with. But let me show you also the how that forklift, that's going to be a kind of in the full game, a use for that forklift. And one second, guys. Sorry about this. All right. Um, yeah, so let's take a look at where did I put that? Where's the car at? All right. Forklift. And this would be kind of a better example of, I've actually spent, I think, a little bit more time on this one because it was a little bit, because the forklift, I actually started it from more of a scratch than the actual SUV, which is from a different package that I had to retool to use my master class and um, worked it out that way. But let's see. So for the forklift, it's kind of like the same idea, and this one I guess should not be getting. But now you can see this is kind of how the behavior of the driver on any other vehicle. And the same thing would be for the plane, even though with the plane it's just really everything is control. You don't have any control. So the rudder, kind of the steering for the plane is just going to be a scripted type of thing, like where how the plane banks is just kind of how it twists the steering wheel. But this is basically, and I'm still working. This is one issue that I wasn't able to figure out yet, where depending on the rotation of this, like even though I attach the player, like the actor itself, this being the character, to this skeletal mesh, which is and to this socket, which is the seat, it still rotates the player for whatever reason. I am not entirely sure why, so I need to try and figure out why that is. See, like it's kind of like that, which is weird. But but yeah, the forklift is going to be something a little bit of a mission later in the game. I've actually tried it when it comes to, yeah, well, so it is weird because it is attaching it to that socket. Um, so my assumption was like if I am attaching it to the socket, then why um and this is kind of cool when it comes to physics objects. But so Atlam, um, and I'll show you. I'll quickly show you some of the code. It might be a little bit of spaghetti as I'm kind of finishing up with things, but um, and I'll let me bring that up right now. So when it comes to the forklift itself, and me attaching the actor. So I am attaching actor um, to component, and it's using this driver seat socket. And the mesh itself, it's like this. So this is the mesh, and this is the socket here. And I cannot, for the life of me, figure out why uh, the the actor that I'm attaching, the character myself, it's rotating like that. Uh, Seemingly not really any reasoning as to even why that rotation is that angle, because I would like think, okay, maybe it's the character mesh that is rotating to where you're looking, but I'm already switching, I'm already removing, let me see, where is it? So like here, I'm already disabling input on the character and unpossessing it, and then I'm possessing the forklift or the vehicle. So, and then this one is all snap to target besides the scale, which I think the scale can be left as it is. I mean, because otherwise it's just not going to work properly, you know. So, um, and this is what I'm currently trying to figure out as well, just to get this fixed for the vehicles. So hopefully, yeah, and that's the thing, that was my thinking as well. So I'm still digging through. Maybe it's somehow related to the anim blueprint. Maybe it's yeah. So this is still too early. This is something that I was doing, like working on yesterday and the day before. Um, but um, but yeah, hopefully now that the holidays are done, I might be able to spend a lot more time on this. Um, oh yeah. Mark, thank you so much. That was my next the next thing that I was gonna look into, like the NM blueprint. Um, so I'll check that out to see if it's to see where that is, because I know exactly what you're talking about. So many thanks. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, it's one of those exactly. All right. So and guys, the other thing that I was looking into is you might have seen last time, like I was showing you a little bit of selecting all these meshes and turning them into instances. Like I was selecting a bunch of these, maybe like this, and I was going into actor, excuse me, you know, under merge settings, you can batch this up to create um, basically turn them into instances. So while that one uh, did, bring all these, draw calls down by I think just one in this case, I'm still probably going to use the pack level actor, and that is just because um, I have more controls over each individual item. Like when you turn these into instances, um, and that was one issue. The other one was, and I might have shown you in a previous video, it wasn't really working so well when it came to like the call distance volume and even the draw distance. That's at least on my end. I've never had that issue with a pack level actor. And the result is the same, it does create instances. Whether it's like the hierarchical instances or just the regular, I'm not sure what the other one I think is a static instance or so I'm gonna do the same thing, like all these, bigger cliff assets. Um, I'm gonna try and turn these into pack level instances as well, pack level actors. And one of the main things that I wanted to do that as well is, you remember back here in the um in this junkyard area, like this one right now is its own level, right? So I can go in, I can edit this level, and let's see. And so all of these are just their own static meshes, therefore ton of draw calls. So my plan is to grab all of these and turn them into a pack level actor, So therefore, I'm going to have all of these meshes be, um, one instance. And I have yet to test it out with these many assets. But um, uh, the advantage to that is that it's all going to be one pack level actor, and I can break that down back into its own individual pieces. Whereas if it was just an instance, I cannot select them all that way. You know, that was one of the things that I didn't really like about when it comes to like selecting all of these, for example, and going into actor. Um, merge active settings, and then, simplifying or, batching. Batching would be the one to turn them into instances. So when I was doing this, I was not able to select them all back up again. I'm assuming there might be a way, but there's very limited um, uh, options for that. So I'm thinking it, from what I've tried so far, you know, right clicking and then and under level, um, come on, I'm not entirely sure why it's yesterday and earlier today it was running fine. Since I started the stream, I'm not sure why it's, choking so badly. But so in here, creating this pack level actor for uh, and I could just do it for each individual item, like the wheels, the barrels, maybe these trash cans. So I'll try it both ways, and see which one results in less draw calls. Because I can also, um, once I do that, I can also just open up this level separately and edit it that way. So yeah, I'm gonna try and do that and hopefully be able to report back to you guys as soon as possible. And that's why I was mentioning earlier that for this entire town, you see that I have a bunch of these singular levels, right? But the idea is to combine all of these into one level, you know, and then break these level up, and then create one pack level actor for everything in here. And what that should do, at least in the way I look at it, you'll see that, for example, this building, has all these pieces. as does this building, like all these individual pieces. So hopefully what that will do is bring that down, all these pieces to one draw call. And that's my the way I theorize this in my head. Hopefully that's how it's going to work, and we'll see. Hey Daniel, yeah, unfortunately, welcome, but I do not speak your language, so English, please, and welcome to the stream. Okay, and let's see what else. What else? I wish there was a lot more, but unfortunately, oh yeah, another thing that I've been working on is uh, kind of bringing back these houses because what I did do, I was thinking that I might be. Oh, hello, Daniel. Hello. Well, I think the first one what you said was привет. So привет. Um, welcome. So a while back, what I did, just again, just experimenting with optimization, was to combine all these houses, like this individual house, into one mesh. And some of them, I've actually created them as a pack level actor, which I believe this one might be one of them. But for some, and I think I might have deleted them already, or do I have an example? I might have, oh yeah, this one's an example here. So for this one, what I did was actually, we were looking at the options when it comes to merging actors. And for this one, I think I might have merged it into one, and you can see it here, it's just one mesh, right? So it started just like these ones, since they're from the same developer, very modular homes, modular asset. Um, and to I tried both options. One of them was to merge them into one mesh, which this is what resulted in. I think I might have made some mistakes along the way, or also the pack level actor, which is trying to create instances out of all the meshes that are the same, and or I think with the same material. But unfortunately for this one, it didn't turn out to be, for this package, it didn't turn out to be that efficient because it has a lot of tiny little pieces that can, that therefore, the modularity, but there's a lot of tiny little pieces that even when you put it as a pack level actor, it creates one instance for each one of these. So basically still almost the same draw calls. So in the end, what I'm going to do is similar to my idea for the town, where I'm going to have all these be one level and then pack them into one level actor. And hopefully everywhere where like, this little piece here, I think if we were to edit this one, we might be able to see them a little bit better. Yeah, see, so like this little piece here and this little piece here, these are going to be used probably in here as well. So once they're all in the same level and they're all like a pack level actor, I'm hoping that um, it will um, it will reduce the draw calls quite a bit. So something that I'm going to try and test. The other thing, that you have as an option, and unfortunately, there's not a lot of. I've tried to like look at things, and there's not a lot of uh, I I wouldn't call it knowledge, but it's kind of hard to figure it out, and I'm still digging through it. Is this, like the H lots? So this is another to build these hierarchical LODs. That's another option, and I've tried running this, but I'm not entirely sure how good it works with one, the pack level actors and the world partition. None of the tutorials are towards world partition, so I need to look a little bit more into like the example projects that Epic has, like that World of the Ancient, I think is what it's called. Um, so, um, but so I'm still, yeah, I'm still uh, kind of researching some of this stuff. But so far, what I did notice a huge drop in draw calls is the pack level actor, or the other option that I was telling you with the instancing. Like I was telling you, when you select a bunch of these and you go to actor and under merge, you have the option to batch. But like I said, these ones they would turn it. You won't be able to first. I wasn't able to figure this out. How to select all of these again for starters, like all these instances, and that was pretty frustrating because if I want to change a material for all of them, I wouldn't know how to do it. I mean, I'm not sure if you just apply it to one instance, if it applies it to all. So it seems a little bit more destructive workflow than a pack level actor. So yeah, things still to be investigated. Yeah, yeah, that's a smart way to do it. Looks like. Yeah, I think exactly. If you do them on all, a singular one, yeah, you're not gonna save nothing. You might be, but not too much. I mean, for example, like if we were to go into this one, you might have like see this one and this one, this one and this one. So there's one draw call and might be, yeah, see these ones are different. So you might have some on the back, a little bit of a gain. But once you do them for all of the buildings, then yeah, you should get quite a decent boost. These kind of flat type of row houses, they do have a lot more repetitive pieces. So these, what I did notice, these had a huge performance improvement when packed into a pack level actor. And like I said, the main reason is that I can, right click on the pack level actor and bear with me for just 1 second. I just found something that was kind of bugging me here. You can either edit that as a normal level, or you can, break it back down and make your changes there. So yeah, some things. It's like, some assembly required, so to speak. Okay. So like I said, maybe a little bit shorter stream today. So maybe I'll be here for another half an hour or so. So maybe and what we have the time we have remaining, let's try and kind of fix up some of this terrain around here. Maybe simulate some vegetation and fill this area in. Do a little bit of level design. Nothing too fancy, but um, yeah, those were some of the updates. Like I said, I wish there were a whole lot more for this time, but yeah, life gets in the way sometimes. Hey Daniel, why are you not merging the small house details to just walls, floors, and ground? No, 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 no worries. I totally understand it. Well, so I totally get your point, and that's a great point actually. I totally like it. So this package that I had, I believe it's called like residential houses, and this is how they come off of the assembly line basically. Like from the creator, this is this is how they were made. Like with all these modular pieces and yeah, unfortunately they're not very they're very modular, but they're not very efficient when it comes to like instancing and all that. So, you know, like I could potentially, like select, for example, like what you're saying, select all with the same material. So I got all these pieces, and this is, um, you know what? I um, I am starting to think that you just gave me an idea because um, take this one for example, right? So this is like the entire walls of the house. And again, this is one of the reasons that I love streaming. But So there we go. So we have all these pieces in here. There are the walls. Now, the only trouble with that is that it seems like it also selected these pieces, these corners, because it does have, and I'm not sure, um, they do have this little lip here, like you can, hopefully you can see it, um, like this, where was it? See, like it does have this one with the same material. Um, so that is that is a really interesting idea because it could potentially work the same with the roof though. Um, hmm. And at that point, that should be just one draw call. The only thing with this is that I have a bunch of these houses, right? So the question, not necessarily, um, yeah, and that's exactly what you're saying. Um, so it would probably be really good if I had a lot of these houses that are just like this one, like identical houses. At that point, it would be very, very easy, like definitely would be one mesh. But since I have a bunch of like different shaped houses, that they all use these pieces, uh, my thinking is to have them all be part of the same level, and then um, it might work out if there's like, for example, only one piece for like, 20 different houses for this one, only one piece for this one, and these are probably going to be one instance anyways, but across 20 houses, um, yeah, it's a really good point. So let me try them out and I'll report back. I'll see first. First of all, I got to clean up the houses, because like I said, I kind of messed a few of them up, and I need to bring them back from my original level. But yeah, what I'm hoping for is either your method or the pack level actors. Either one, I think, should do great. Now the question is, which one would do better? So I'll report back with my findings. But yeah, thank you so much for the suggestion. Like I said, initially what I did was I've combined this entire house into one mesh, which was probably not the right way to do it. Um, the other thing when you do that, and this is one thing that I'm just thinking of right now, is collisions. So especially if you don't have like like houses that are going to be enterable, you might be fine to just put a collision box around the entire house. And at that point, you don't have to mess around with collisions too much. But let me see if I can turn on player collision. And why doesn't this one show player collisions? That's interesting. Okay, there you go. I had to go into it. But see, like this is how the player collisions are looking on the inside of this. Um, so which is, they're all primitive, so it's pretty good. The player is not gonna uh, have any trouble navigating the interior of the house. But the one that was merged, let me see if I can go back to it. Can I select it? Oh yeah, that one doesn't even have collisions. So normal collisions, then you see collision calculations. Atlam, how do you do that? Is it still under collisions or under lit? Yeah, and that's and and this is my doing, this I caused this because I merged it like this and not what like Daniel was saying, like one object would be the floor, one would be, floors, and merge that into one mesh. Um, One would be the walls, one would be the roof, like everyone that has the same material merging into one mesh. So That's also an approach, I think, as well. Is it all C? Okay. It froze for a little bit. Oh, I see, I see. Yeah, so like yeah, yeah, I remember this one. Yeah, so see this one doesn't have anything, but let's look at one of those that is like that's actually kind of interesting why you can't see them unless you go into it. I think you need to go into the level to see the collisions. So there we go. Yeah, so totally, I mean, um, I'm liking your idea more and more just because, when it comes to, these uh, this box collisions, it's easy to add them in either way, like even if you add them in manually in the editor after that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good, great suggestion. Thank you. Thank you so much, Daniel. All right, let's hide this for a little quick and exit out of this. But yeah, and I can also see, how these collisions are are like that. Alan, how do you open level like that? Do you mean like a level instance or, so just like this? Um, and then you can make your changes, exit. Um, yeah, and the world partition, I think I'm not sure if if you use like a regular level, if you can like drag in a level instance. So this is just a level instance. Um, but um, the pack level is pretty much the same. I'm not sure if I have any of them out here where there might be a pack level. Is there one? Is this one a pack level? Yeah, so for example, this is a pack level, right? Um, so, and this is what's kind of cool about this is that you can also open it as a blueprint editor. So you can see in here all the instance meshes, right? And this is probably not a very good example because they're all like unique meshes. So even it's still going to be the same draw call in the end. But if there's any repetitive ones, like in here you can see like, yeah, they're all this different meshes, unfortunately, because there's like this variety in here. So maybe this is not the best example for like a pack level actor. Oh yeah, there we go. So this one could be one. This, I'm not sure what's this mesh here. It's this little palette, right? So there's like two palettes. This is one draw call, and this is what a pack level actor does. You can have all these things in here, and this particular one is has got two instances, with their different transforms, you know. And you can go in here and you can like edit this one the way you want it, and it's kind of contained to that pack level actor as well. Or you can just you can go in here and edit it this way, you know. So if you take a look at this, there you go. So it updates the blueprint as well. And the cool thing is that it works with the blueprint. And what I was able to do with this one is actually, change the buildings on the fly. So for example, I'm not sure if that's a good term to use, but I was playing around with some of these buildings as a pack level actor, and I was changing the material for the sides. So, when you were moving like the building around, like the construction script would run and change the material so it'd be like a different color siding or something like that, just to add some variety. Yeah, see like all of these, they are the same color now. But if you were to go in and into this, and this is, I had to kind of reset some of the things around. But you can set them a little bit set them up so it you can apply a different material to the sidings or to certain elements of the building. All right, let's see. So yeah, we were saying, play around a little bit with, sculpting some of the terrain for the whatever 10, 15 minutes left that we have, and uh, and that might conclude the stream for today. Unfortunately, no stream tomorrow, but we'll definitely have one next week. Hopefully, everything works out okay. I'm doing some traveling, so I'll be doing it from a different computer, which is kind of good. Testing it on a different machine can be uh, um, could be useful as well. And this is actually, I think, testing it on a, no, it's still on a, but it's a different Intel. It's like a i5 with, if I'm not mistaken, 40 gigs of RAM. So it'd be kind of a different machine, different, also a 1070. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, so let's try and finish up. At least get this hole fixed up and maybe some trees around here or something. Feel like we've done something. We've definitely done something, at least from a planning perspective. And thank you everybody for your suggestion. Daniel, thank you so much. Adlin, Mark, the same. All right, let's see what we can achieve here. Um, all right, I don't even know what to start. Let's try with like flatten and then get this stuff a little bit situated over here. We'll see what we can achieve. There we go. That's looking a little bit better. Okay, well, we've filled in some of the, oops, not that. Just wanted to try and smooth this out a little bit here, over there, over here. There we go. In theory, that would be like the driveway. There we go. Let's paint some stuff out here so we can hopefully simulate some trees to happen on this little edge. Yeah. So, if I was to, let me see, turn on, I'm not sure if you can see them if you were to look at mesh LOD coloration. I'm not sure if that one shows for the landscape. I think there's like a different way to show the landscape. I was looking at it actually just not too long ago, Daniel. Um, I don't think it shows for the landscape this way. I wish it did, or actually no, I think it, no, it doesn't. There is a different way to show like the landscape LOD coloration, and it's kind of escaping me right now. Um, so my bad. I wish I could have shown you. Oh yeah. So I think that's LODing, if I'm not mistaken. Because once you go into it very close, it gets really tiny. So I hope that's what you meant. Oh yeah. It definitely is. I mean, one thing that I've been um, not necessarily struggling with is I'm not very much of an expert when it comes to landscaping. I can do like sculpting and that kind of stuff. That's why, the landscape is pretty uh, somewhat basic. But I haven't really seen like my main performance issue right now is the draw calls, and mainly the draw calls because I have this kind of really populous area out here, which is, not very optimized, and also this area over here, which there's like a lot of buildings and things, and um, that's that's my main performance draw right now. That's at least what I'm trying to work out and make it better. But yeah, with the landscape itself, because my poly count is not bad overall, but yeah, if you have any suggestions on improving the landscape as well, and not sure, do you use word partition as well? Oh, and by the way, please join Discord if you feel like it. There's definitely other people that could use people's expertise, and would love to have you. So I'm just gonna paint a little bit more of the areas back here. So we'll see if we can get a little bit more trees kind of scattered out here. All right, let's see what we can simulate. But yeah, there should be a Discord link in the description, or I think the more of the video. I'm not sure how it shows when you watch the video live. Um, so not a huge server, but from time to time people ask for help and all that. So I try to and other members have been pretty good at this. Oh, okay. That's actually a great point. Uh, Huh. I mean, I was kind of thinking about something like that. Um, but that is very interesting. So everywhere they merge it into one. Huh, that's cool. I never thought of that. I mean, I was, like there's the package actors and instances, but I never thought they would merge that into one. Hmm. That might that's definitely worth trying. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's a great idea. Um, I might just I might just try it out to see how it is in the packed build. Or not in the packed build. My apologies. Like um, like how it would change once you have that like that. Well, I mean, once the world is built, um, and since I use GitHub and like source control, I can always revert back if I mess anything up. So I can always just merge everything into one and check it out and see how it works. And then, oh, if it doesn't work, I can just you know um, check out my master branch again. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's kind of once you're ready, I would just probably branch off of this and within that branch basically merge everything like Daniel is saying and then build it. And if it doesn't work, just discard the branch and that's it. So no biggie. Could be easily done. But yeah, that's actually a great idea. I'll definitely give that a try. Or yeah, um that's exactly good. That's exactly the great point. So Atlam, do you mean what source control do I use? Huh, what's going on? Why is it that there's only like some of these big trees and only like the smaller ones around them? What the heck? That's interesting. Um, so I use GitHub because it's free. And fingers crossed nobody hears me that I'm doing this, but right now my repo's up to close to like 90 gigs and I haven't had any trouble. As long as you don't upload, and I think you can work that out with the large file system. Um, you can upload files that are bigger than 100 megabytes, but once you get to a file that's bigger than 100 megabytes, do you really need that? I mean, how big of a what is that? Um, Hey, Ruslan, welcome. This is a first-person action adventure video game, and it's called just like the name of the stream, On Your Own, because it's a single player. It's not a multiplayer game, if that's what you're asking. Also, it's not a horror game. So, um, yeah, you start the game with this, by flying into this airplane, and you kind of start from somewhere around here-ish, if I can find it somewhere. There it is. So you start flying in the world. Yeah, yeah, that's me. So you start flying into the world. You're looking for these two people, and you haven't heard from in a while. You fly through. There's a couple of three places, in the final game. You're going to be able to jump out of the airplane, and that's where you're going to start the game. The demo that I'm trying to work as much as I can on, um, you're going to start from this position, and you're going to have some missions around this area, this town. Um, and you're going to interact with a bunch of these people down here. So, um, you're going to get some missions for the demo. They're going to take you out to this area out here in the junkyard and over here in this warehouse. You're going to be encountering a few enemies down here. Oh, hey, welcome, welcome. Good to have you. Good to have you. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You're just gonna need to do some of these missions, help these people out, and get some details of where your friends are at. Hopefully that sounds interesting. Um, okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna try and figure out why, weirdly enough, the these big trees are not showing up. Is it like that we go above a certain level that they're not simulating? Oh, interesting. Take a quick look. So we got this big tree here, which is this one. Is it? No, it shouldn't be. Oh yeah. Well, so this has been my dream for many years now, and I've been working on this for a number of years. But it's also a hobby, so I think it's a project passion of mine. If it ends up and people like it, I was planning around for a part two as well. See, I'm not sure this one's gonna help. Uh, and that is if people like it, and once the first game is in place, I think a lot of work goes in the beginning in setting up like all the infrastructure, like the mechanics, how do you deal with missions, how you deal with NPCs, AI. Um, but once you have that set up, like think of Far Cry. Um, you know, it all Far Cries had the same mechanic. Um, I mean, yeah, with a few things added here and there, depending on, Far Cry 5 to Far Cry 6, but all in all, pretty much the same, like between Far Cry 3, because which ones did I play? Far Cry 4, 5, and 6. So I've actually played them out of order. Like I played like 5, 6, and 3. Oh, and 4, sorry. Uh, they all were almost the same. Yeah, some of them had like the hang gliding and maybe it wasn't in another one, but they were uh they were pretty much same mechanics. So once you have that, you can like build off of it. And I didn't want to buy like a package that had all the mechanics in place because that way I didn't feel like I was learning anything. Like if it came to implementing a new mechanic, might have been pretty difficult. But now with everything that I built myself, implementing a new mechanic is going to be really easy, and I know how to do it. And like Alim is saying, it's about having fun as well. So to me, this is sometimes is more fun doing this than playing a video game. So yeah. Um, oh, thank you, thank you. Well, so I've been living in the States for a lot of years now, and working for a U.S. company that has helped me a lot with the English. But thank you, thank you. Um, so I'm gonna have to figure out why I'm only getting like these types of trees showing up. Hmm. Not that I mind them, but they're just a little bit too repetitive. I was hoping to see a little bit more of, this type. I got like three or four trees anyway, so there's not that many anyway. But anyways, let's see about simulating the logs as well and the rocks. And I think that would be a good point to call it. Oh, you're living close to Boston. Oh, that's good. I um, I live about 2 hours north of Boston. So hey, all right, there we go. So we got some logs around here, around there. Nice. There we go. And where are the rocks? PF underscore rocks. Where is it? No, big. Oh, I think it was like called something else. Large rocks, because of course. Yeah, exactly. New Hampshire. That's what it is, son. Yeah, Alan, that's exactly it. Like uh, working on this is so calming. I mean, that's that's one of the things that I enjoy so much about it. Like um, that's uh, yeah. I mean, because and that's one I mentioned this before. That's one of the reasons I do like working on my own to some extent. Because like if you get bored of one thing one day, you do another thing the next day and another thing the next day. And there's so many. The game development is so cool because it's got so many disciplines involved. And I definitely see how you can get bored with it if you just do the same thing over and over and over. Um, and my luck is that, or I'm not sure if I would call it necessarily luck, but I touch on every different thing every day, so um, that's what keeps it fun. Oh, hey, Dublin, New Hampshire. Okay, it's not that close to me, but yeah, I know about that. Cool. Well, definitely, maybe we can meet one day in person in real life, right? Sometimes I travel to Boston, so yeah. Um, okay. This one looks actually kind of cool with all the logs in place and everything else around it. Um, even down here in this little patch where we just said, oh, you're in Salem. Even yeah, that's even better. That's even closer to me. Nice. So do hit me up on Discord. You never know. We're so close. So um, okay. Well, so what I'll do, guys, until next time, I will look into um, some of your suggestions as well and try and figure out why these things are not simulating as I was hoping they would. Um, like I've lost all the big trees around here, and I'm not entirely sure why that might be. I might have a couple of ideas, but I will try and find out. What did you see? So it's Lebanon, if you know about that. It's a small city, like kind of middle of New Hampshire. Mm, okay. Well, so guys, I think that's gonna be it for me. Um, I do need to attend to a few things today as well, but but thank you guys so much for stopping by. I know it wasn't like the ideal, like the really filled with updates type of stream, so my apologies for that. But now that I hope to be able to get back into it, like I said, work is not so crazy anymore, and I hope my afternoons are going to be a little bit more relaxed, and I'll be able to get some stuff done as well. So yeah, guys, appreciate everybody stopping by, and I hope to see you on the next one. Like I said, my goal is for next Saturday and Sunday, so I hope for that. And again, I'll just post the update in Discord and schedule the stream as well beforehand. So yeah, have a great week coming up, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye.